doing?
How are you doing, Mr. Wynn?
Doing great.
Peter Cato with NetSuite. How are you?
Peter, nice to meet you. I'm doing fine,
Doing great. Do you mind if I take a seat?
Oh, go right ahead.
Thank you. Here's my business card.
Okay, great, thank you. And again, have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Good to have you in.
Good
I understand you know Bailey.
I do know Bailey. We met at a U2 concert back in Pasadena.
Oh, was it fun?
It was. It was a great concert. I had never been to a U2 concert before.
I've never been to a U2. I bet it would be amazing.
It was. The show was great.
I wonder how many tractor trailers full of equipment they brought for a U2.
I don't know. Coming all the way from Ireland, so I'd imagine quite a few.
Well, they probably used American equipment. I don't know though. U2, they might bring their own
They
stuff.
might bring everything. I'm sure they got enough money to have all their jumbo jets they need.
You know it. I bet it was a great show.
It really was. I met up with him, a friend of him on Facebook, then connected with him on LinkedIn.
This is Bailey.
This is Bailey, yes, sir. And then we kind of caught up, and he said you might be interested. I understand you're really busy. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. You're expanding the physical facility, as I understand.
We're talking about it.
Okay.
Bailey's been a great hire. He has done everything we wanted and then some. Super guy, and which, if he asks us to meet with someone, we will. We're talking about expanding, but the nature of our business, both Vic and I guess, are a little conservative about this. We have tried to keep our fixed costs down.
Okay.
And so we have a very lean staff here. We actually debated quite a while before we hired Bailey. It was an upgrade in the position. And the thing is, our revenue base is all rental. It's based on sales of the dealers.
Right.
So one way I think of it, there's nothing fixed about that. If their sales are down, our revenues are down.
Right.
So, hiring someone else, expanding, adds to fixed cost. It's probably harder in our business than some to expand, but we're thinking about it. We're looking at the possibility of going from 200 to 300.
Great.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you mind if I take some notes? Maybe
please
ask you a
do.
few questions myself, or a few
Go
questions
ahead.
for myself. So you currently have 200 terminals. Is that what I understand?
Yes. You even know the lingo.
I do.
Terminals is a little unique to our business, but yes, we do have 200.
And the rent for those terminals, that's 10 to 15% depending on the square footage and how long they've been a member?
It really is. We're a little unique in the fact that it's really just the length of time. We started with 10%. We've raised it to 15% for newer people. There's a lot of pressure now to go back the other way. We've actually been thinking a lot about the pricing, how we charge what we do. We've talked about trying to standardize it like 12% of sales. We've also thought about going to rental or some other approach, but and the pressure really has come because times have been tough lately for some of our dealers, even though everything overall has been good. But also the value added kind of aspect. I mean, we've got a little pushback with people that are paying 15% about what kind of value we're providing.
I understand.
I think it's easy to forget. One way, just real quick, one way to think of our business is almost like a mall. When you visit your local mall, you've got a mall office, and they do what? They provide the cash registers, they provide security, they provide a lot. Information counters.
Essentially everything but the merchandise.
Yeah, whatever so they come in and merchandise and do it whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have a department store next to a music store, next to a tie-dye t-shirt shop, or a card shop.
Mm-hmm.
Here, we're almost the same, except all of our vendors are in the floral industry. So we put in those terminals, a PC, digital cash registers, internet connection, telephone connections, and security, and take care of any issues that come up. So we do a lot for them, but I think sometimes they forget, because at home, what do you pay? $50 a month for internet?
Something like that.
And, $50, $60 for your cell phone, and $20 more for your landline. They start adding it up and thinking, well, why are we paying you so much? So we're having to show them quality, give them more value for the dollars.
I see. And how do you get that customer feedback?
Oh, it's more just walking around getting information back from them. We don't get, you mean from our dealers?
From your dealers, right.
We have a pretty good relationship with it. Actually, Bailey does a lot of the meetings with them, but We basically hear from them. They complain to us or they talk to us. We know them pretty well.
Good, good.
And there's very little turnover there too. That's one reason we're looking for 300. Very, very little turnover. It's such a good place for them to be.
Mhm.
So good for their business to be in here that we rarely have anyone leave.
Right, you have retailers and wholesalers, correct?
Yes. We have the two different types of business that we work with. The thing is, they're all in the floral business. They just
Mhm.
operate differently. Part of them are dealing with directly with retailers. Part of them are dealing with wholesalers owned through other retailers. So it's a little different as the way they operate. They each have a different system too. Bailey may have told you this.
Right,
They
right.
have this. We built for them simple CR, customer relationship management databases
Mhm.
back in the 90s. We made a mistake or two thinking they were so different that we built them on different bases and they really don't communicate well. And they're very, very simplistic.
Okay. One other thing, real quick, housekeeping thing. Is there any other decision makers that need to be involved in this procedure? Or is it just you and your partner V?
V would be involved with basically anything that we were deciding. But for now, we're the two people. For now, I'm happy to talk with you about
I'm happy to
whatever.
talk with you as
Okay.
well. Great, great. Okay, so they don't communicate well and they're kind of simplistic, which I guess you would assume if they, 11 years old now, they
Yeah.
built in 99.
Yeah, at the time, one was based on a package called ACT, the other was based on a package called Goldmine. I think ACT was the industry leader at the time. Have you ever used either one of those?
I haven't, no sir.
It's real simple. It's if you could think of it like a contact manager is really what it was. If you were one of their customers for one of our terminal users, you would they'd have your name and contact information, they'd have your billing information, they'd have your account history, but it's kind of a free-formed account history. You almost have, basically, it's like adding notes to a client record. So that doesn't provide a whole lot of
Right.
detail.
So essentially, it's like a Rolodex. Essentially, you can just put their name and contact information and write notes on the back of it.
I've never
It's
thought of it that way.
just an
That's pretty much
updated
it. Like
Rolodex.
just think of it as, okay, my card can be as big as I want it to be.
Mhm.
And for some people, that card's very, for some of our users have kept it very simplistic. And it might just say, February 14th, 120 roses. Another one has kept lots of detail about family members, about transactions, about any issues coming along. But by its very nature, there was no way for us to really pull reports from that.
Gotcha.
Or-
Okay.
or- I mentioned earlier, boy, I'm doing all the talking. I'll get off it. I'll listen to you in a second. One thing that's been a constant problem for us goes back to what we talked about earlier. Their lack of capability and their lack of compatibility. We asked for a 2-month forecast of sales from them. They don't really have good systems to give us that.
I
So
see.
they give us a best guess. Okay, so what do we get? We can put it together and we have an even less good guess at what they're gonna do, which might not be too bad in some businesses. In ours, that means I have very little idea how much revenue I'm gonna have next month. Because I don't know because their forecast is not very
forecast is
good.
good.
So that's kind of an issue. Kind of keeps going back to that. That's something, maybe we need to think about that pricing a little bit more, because it keeps going back to the fact that we just don't know what we have
Right.
until we have it.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't know. That's interesting. That's interesting. About as far as compensation is concerned, do you deal with their money at all, or do they just kind of pay you the rent and they handle all the retail aspects of it?
They pretty much handle all of those.
Okay. And what about upselling? Do you upsell at all? Do they upsell at all? I guess I should ask.
Oh, they do.
They
It
do.
depends on the vendor,
Mhm.
but some of them are very good at those kind of things, some are not. But
You get the wedding party that comes in for carnations, and you sell them 12 dozen roses.
yeah, the ones that are in the retail side probably are better about that than
Mhm.
most. Although I know even the ones that are on the wholesaling side will put together packages to try to promote the extra things. It's easy for them to sell a lot of roses. They try to package it in one of the things that maybe are not that easy to sell at times.
I
So
see.
upselling's part of it though at their level.
Great. Okay. Well, so you see they don't communicate and they are simplistic. How does that hurt your revenue stream? Does it hurt your revenue stream? I know you said that you don't really know what's coming in until you receive it.
Mhm.
How does that hurt your business as a whole? I mean, does it hurt your planning for future? I mean, I'm not forecasting, obviously.
Yeah, it does. You have to think about, if you think about that, it's a constant constraint on planning. I would think we probably, what we're thinking about doing in the next 2 years as far as expansion, if we had known, if we had better information for planning, we could have done it 5 years ago. We just are constrained on decision-making because of our lack of information. I think our dealers, some of our better dealers that would be better at, say, managing their sales force, they range from having 2 or 3 salespeople to probably having, I think one of our dealers has something like 50. But they're constrained because of that information too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So your revenue stream is hurting too because your vendors are hurting.
Definitely.
Great. Okay. And they're not compatible. So do you think expanding the physical facility would be more difficult? Would you have to add a third system, or would you split it evenly, or just put it on one of the ACT or the gold mine?
I think we'd go with, it depends on which part of the business they came in through, but
Mhm.
but our plan now had been to just go with either make a change before or to another
Right.
vendor,
Mhm.
to another system entirely, or just add on whichever, our systems are fairly scalable in the fact that we just add another terminal, put another PC in, put another copy of ACT or Gold Mine or modified ACT or Gold Mine.
Or NetSuite.
Or NetSuite, yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. I think I really have something that I can help you out with here.
Okay.
I'd like to show you something real quick.
Sure.
One of the benefits of using just this NetSuite product would be that it will be compatible because everyone will have the exact same thing. They'll have access to all of our accounting. They'll have access to all of our
Handy.
Indeed. So it is intelligent. So they can actually talk between the retailers, the wholesalers, all of your vendors total, and that's both on the Santa Clara Flower District side and on the Los Angeles Flower
Okay.
Garden side. So they'll talk together, and then the extra 100 terminals that you're thinking about planning would also speak. And the benefits of that would be that you can actually automate your sales force so that you can forecast by sales rep. So this sales rep would actually be your vendor. So you can say, whoever FTD here is you're forecasted for this period to sell $446,175
Okay.
dollars worth of merchandise. And then from there you can determine whether or not, whether their rent is 10%, 12%, 15%, whatever it is. You can accurately forecast how much your revenue is going to be.
Okay, now, for our clients, for our dealers, they would want this kind of detail about FTD or whoever they're dealing
Mhm.
with. I don't think they're gonna want me to have that kind of information.
About everyone.
Yes, they're not gonna wanna share with me even the names of their top clients or any of their clients, because they're gonna, there's some idea that, they're gonna wanna keep that confidential. They wouldn't want me to share it with a competitor.
I see. That makes perfect sense. Well, how about a forecast? Would they be willing to share a forecast with you?
I think, well, my question is, can they see that information and I just see composite information? Forecast is a great place. They have 100 clients, they have a forecast for those clients. All I want to see is the total.
Yes. Here you can, well, actually that's for them, and the order management system there. Here's the forecasting that we talked about. You can look and it says anytime, let's see, make sure, okay. It will actually forecast, each vendor will be able to formulate a forecast and be able to forward it to you, which helps them. And a lot of the sales tracking and things like that and the sales team member forecasting, that's pretty much strictly for them. That's for their knowledge.
And then I can see the composite.
And you'll be able to see the composite, right? They'll be able to pull a report that sends you what they think they're going to have for the period, for the week, for the day, whatever time period that you're looking at. They'll be able to pull a report that actually will show you what you can expect.
In real time?
In real time.
That's something.
Well, in real time, as they put the information into the system, if they're not putting the information into the system, obviously, the system won't know.
No, sure. That's that's light years ahead of what we can do right now. I mean, this is so much better than anything we've thought about doing.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. I agree. I'm really pleased with our product, and I'm really excited to show it to you. Another thing is that you said that it's simplistic, and this is simplistic in that it's easy to use. It's an advanced yet intuitive CRM, which is light years ahead of what you the CRMs that you use now, is from what I understand, what you said.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still intuitive. Your vendors aren't going to have a problem inputting the information. It's going to be roughly the same amount. It's just going to be able to pull. They're just going to be able to pull reports, for those reports to you. And as you asked, yes, it can do it in real time, so long as they're putting the information in as it happens.
Okay.
You know, if they put the information in at the end of the day, then you can pull a report at the end of the day.
Sounds perfect.
Great. And can you think of any of the problems that you might come across?
Oh,
As far as the forecasting is concerned, or the sales tracking, or
no, the one I see so far is like forecasting. They'll be able to do a better job forecasting their own business, which I think they'll like.
Right.
We're providing that resource for them, which adds to the value of what we're providing them. And then for me, I'm going to be able, for instance, in forecasting, to have a more concrete forecast of what I can expect.
Right.
Future sales. That sounds good. How about, I would think for them, sales automation would be a big thing. The idea of being able to manage your sales force better. Do you want to talk any more about that?
Sure. Yes, sir. It's back here. And the order management, the sales automation is what you're talking about, the order management systems.
Yeah.
You can track per client, the vendors can track per client, and that's right here. These are individual clients. This is an example, obviously, Vegas Tours, Hanson Car Dealership. This could be Bob, Sue, Jan, whoever. And you can actually forecast what they're going to purchase within that time period. So you can forecast individual account sales. And then once you do get that account, see where it says new and it has a little play, you click on that and it pulls up this, which is the order management. It's a sales order generator.
Oh, that's nice.
And it'll pull up, and it'll already have their information in it because you've already entered them as a current client. So it pulls up their information, and all you have to do is enter if they're getting a discount, how much they're going to have, and then it generates how much it's going to cost, the base price. And actually, while we're on it, this will actually forward it to whoever the salesperson is. It'll say here the sales rep is A Wolf. If you have that salesperson that does this order, that'll automatically generate their commission if they work on commission structure.
Wow, I wonder if we could set it up where I would, again, I don't need to know what A Wolf is getting,
Right.
but if I'm making 10% on their sales, I don't know, it'd be interesting if we even set it up that way, where I know, again, real time when they've input the information, when the order's placed, what my, because I'm essentially getting a commission.
Right.
Be interesting if I could handle it that way, but this is going to make it so much easier for me to get to that point.
Definitely. And there was one other thing you said, and I'm sorry, I misplaced it. We'll go on, and I'll think about it in a second. But as far as the commission structure is set up, this is the incentive management, and it's to motivate their salespeople. And of course, this is for your vendors mainly, but this is another thing that you can expound on and let them know that you've added that value that you're talking about.
That'd be nice for them.
Definitely, and like I said, when they generate that sales order, it puts it in here, and it has the sale or the transaction number, how much it was for, and the calculated commission. And then if you've already paid them for that, it'll say that, and then the amount paid. And then over here, it gives you a total, and the total is. I apologize that there is not a total on there, but you can pull a report that will give you the total amount that you need to pay,
Okay.
that you'll give them for their commission.
Okay, this is going to be a real boon to their business, I think. What's the cost of this?
It's $129 per terminal, so you're looking at $25,800 per month for the 200 terminals.
No, you had that figured out, didn't you?
I did.
$26,000 a month.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Now,
What do you mind me asking what you pay currently for the Act and for the Gold Mine per month?
we paid that pretty much as an upfront cost. It cost us about $200,000 to put that into operation. That was buying, they were more about selling copies of the software. So we bought Act and Goldmine, essentially copies of the software, and then we customized it. We had hired someone to customize. So it cost us around $200,000 as an upfront cost to put that into operation. Now, obviously, since then we've had some maintenance fees, which we usually go out to hire someone. We got one person that kind of runs that for us if we have to change anything. But so there are some ongoing costs, but most of it was up front. So again, this kind of fits our business model better than the additional monthly fees of $26,000 a month.
Okay, and how often do you have to perform maintenance on that system?
Oh, it varies. I'd have to pull it. V handles that part of the business. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, another benefit of having one of our products, and the reason we do charge that monthly fee, is that anytime an update comes out, anytime the system goes down, we're there to handle it and to no extra cost to you. Anytime the system automatically updates, so anytime we come up with a new thing that we think is going to be great, if we can add another little tab over here that our customers are asking for, then we'll do it and it'll automatically update. And next time you log into the system, it'll be there. A little pop-up prompt that lets you know how to use it. If in the customer service is a big part of our business, and we actually use NetSuite to monitor our accounts. And the customer service, there's a feedback that we can monitor through NetSuite. And if you give us the feedback, and that's how we determine whether or not we're going to do an update.
Oh, you asked me that question earlier.
I did.
Yes,
I did.
okay.
Mm-hmm. That's the reason I asked, is because I wanted to let you know that we're going to be able to. You're going to be able to monitor, or your vendors are going to be able to monitor their customers' feedback.
I like that.
And with your version, you'll be able to monitor your vendors' feedback. And you don't have to have Bailey walking around and asking people, hey, how was your day? Of course, you're still going to want to do that, have that face contact. But if there is a problem, you'll be able to know about it much quicker, because as soon as they input it into the system, you'll know.
That'd be excellent. B is away until Thursday of next week. I'd like for him to take a look at this, because I think we might be interested. It's something we might think about doing. Well, we have been thinking about doing something like this. We can think about doing it before the expansion or after the expansion, but he's a technology guy, so I need to have him take a look at it. Do you want to leave some materials with me and just give him a call? Again, he's going to be in Thursday of next week. Give me some time to talk to him. Maybe give me about 2 weeks and give him a call.
Okay, I can definitely do that.
He'll meet with you, then we can talk about it again afterwards.
Great. Did you have any other concerns?
No, I really don't. I like what I've seen. I probably, we've one thing got to make sure that cost is something that we could bear, that it would make sense for us to do.
Okay.
The other thing would be, I'd probably, if you have someone, at least in the floral industry that's using it, it might be nice to talk to them. If not them, other people that I could talk to, some users. But a lot's going to be just determined on what B thinks about it.
Okay.
Because I like it.
That's great. So basically the cost is the only thing that's keeping you back, and V being out of town is the only thing that's really standing in your way. You'd like to see maybe an affidavit or something from another flower company, or
maybe just see it in operation somewhere.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it.
I'll see. This form is obviously a blank model, but I'll see if I can't pull maybe some forms from a flower ranch.
That'd be great. And it'd be nice to talk to some users. That's just
Definitely. I'll see if I can get you some referrals.
Because it is a major decision.
Definitely.
But
it's a major undertaking.
But it really could take a step forward for us.
It will. It'll streamline your process.
Sounds good.
Be leaner and meaner.
I will pretty lean already. And mean. Thanks
All right.
for coming in.
Thank you, Mr. Wynn.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure for me as well.
Thank you.
You have a great day. I'm going to leave this here for V, okay?
Okay, sounds
Thank you,
good.
sir.